Lincoln Financial Group denies disability benefit to brain cancer patient. Previously titled, Nah, that shit ain't for me. Published on emilycease.com, June 8th, 2019. It's not that you aren't entitled to have multiple partners if that's what you want. It is your life after all. And I didn't force you to propose. I wasn't even the one to bring up marriage. But my beef with you now is that you promised to do this whole monogamous thing, and that it was a lie. I never would have consented to this, and you knew that. If you'd have been upfront from the start about your unwillingness to keep your dick in your pants, I could have said, that shit ain't for me, and you'd be someone else's problem. Instead, you're having a mantrum because you're being held to account for your wedding vows. Me to my ex-husband, 2008. This might be a weird parallel to draw, but I feel much the same way about Lincoln Financial Group today as I did about my ex-husband over a decade ago. I'm not mad that Lincoln Financial Group doesn't want to pay disability benefits. I'm mad that they got me to buy a policy based on their industry standard pie crust promises to provide a modest monthly income if the unimaginable happened. Well, the unimaginable did happen, but instead of honoring the policy, they hired strangers to gaslight me and stopped paying my claim. And so now I'm over here like, look, LFG, no one's making you sell disability policies, and no one's making you call disabled people liars. If what you really want to sell is a junk policy that doesn't pay, fine, knock yourself out. Just, present it as the trash it is, so that I can say, nah, that shit ain't for me, and you can be someone else's problem. One thing I learned from being married to a compulsive liar for 4.5 years is that being gaslit is psychological torture. I mean, sure, you hear stories and read about the damage it causes, but when you live it, Jesus H. Christ on a bike, it's really something. Survival for me during my marriage to husband X was only possible by repeatedly and publicly sharing the truth, because people like him count on their marks to be too scared and too ashamed to go public. It's the same for companies like LFG. I tell you all this because I'm about to share some very sensitive and very private information in a very public manner. Those of you who have never endured a situation like this might even wonder what in the world is wrong with me. All I can say is this: I'm not doing anything wrong. Lincoln Financial Group is. I've been spinning my wheels trying to explain my story to people for a couple of months now, but I think it would be more effective for you to see exactly what Lincoln Financial Group knows about me. Once you read that and then read their response, you can make an informed decision about this whole mess. Maybe you have a policy with them, maybe you don't. Maybe you'll continue to give them money, or maybe you won't. Maybe you look at an insurance plan or investment plan offered through HR at your new employer by Lincoln Financial Group and say, that shit ain't for me. Anyway, unlike the folks at LFG, I'm going to be totally upfront with you. There's only a small part of me that's doing this to keep you from becoming their next mark. But there's a huge part of me that's doing this because I want to have even the slightest impact on their earnings report next quarter. Also, if people started faxing Xeroxes of their hairy butts to 402-361-1460, that'd cheer me up too. So here we go. I give you an ever so lightly redacted report written by my primary physician and submitted as part of my first appeal to Lincoln Financial Group. Progress Notes, Carl Physician Group, April 12, 2019. The patient is a 39-year-old female here today to discuss her disability status. Patient has a long history of weakness, dizziness, fatigue, and headaches. She was eventually found to have a large infiltrative astrocytoma involving the medulla, upper cervical spinal cord, and inferior dorsal pons. Because of the location of the tumor, it is inoperable. She was referred to St. Louis and has been following with her oncologist. She has been told that the tumor is not curable. The best that could be offered are treatments to slow its growth. She has since pursued every treatment option available, with success in slowing the growth, but not in improving the tumor or her symptoms. She underwent chemotherapy and radiation therapy, which caused typical side effects and needed frequent lab monitoring. It is my understanding that there are no further options available at this time, and therefore, since she is no longer receiving chemo or radiation, she is no longer needing labs to monitor these treatments. As her tumor has been kept at a stable size, her symptoms, unfortunately, are the same as they have been since diagnosis. Due to multiple symptoms and physical findings, she was found to be totally disabled. She receives disability benefits from SSI and also from a private insurance company. However, she received a call in the past couple of months from someone at her oncologist's office saying that she fills out forms for her doctor, but she doesn't know the patient. Therefore, she was calling because she wanted to ask some questions to be able to fill out a form. She then later got a letter from her private insurance company stating that based on available information, she is no longer totally disabled because her tumor is stable, she has completed treatment, and her labs to monitor those treatments are stable now that the treatment is completed. Unfortunately, her symptoms have not changed since the tumor has not changed. Patient is very confused by this. She says she is told she should be able to go back to her prior occupation or to another occupation. She feels that there is no way she can return to any gainful employment. Patient has the following issues: problems with word finding, difficulty talking, difficulty putting thoughts together. This was observed today. Unable to keep track of complicated lists or complex thoughts. She loses track of what she is doing and loses focus. Physical weakness. She cannot get up off the floor or out of the bathtub without her husband's help. She is unable to squat without falling. She is completely unable to climb a ladder due to both weakness and balance issues. She is unable to carry anything because of difficulty with balancing and the need to either hold the walker or her husband. Poor balance and difficulty walking. She uses either a walker or holds on to her husband when she goes out of the house, which is rare. In the house, she either uses a walker or holds on to furniture and the walls to walk. Extreme fatigue. She says she has mentioned that to her oncologist and has been told that this is her, quote, new normal, and that there is nothing they can offer to help this. She says that just walking around the house requires so much physical effort that she is tired just from this. She is unable to build up to showering daily because this is too much effort and too exhausting. Therefore, she showers about every third day. Even getting up to make herself a sandwich wears her out, and she then has to go lay down. She is only able to do one task per day. She cannot shower and make a meal the same day. It is either one or the other. She thinks she probably spends no more than an hour spread out throughout the entire day where she is up and moving around. About 23 hours of every day is spent sitting or laying down. In a typical day, she will usually pick one task to accomplish that day. A shower may be the goal one day. After she gets done showering, she is wiped out for the rest of the day and spends the rest of the day resting and recovering. Going to the doctor is an entire day's activity another day. Sometimes she will watch YouTube videos and may sketch off and on for about an hour a day. that will also wear her out. But she tries to pick one activity to accomplish each day, no matter how small that activity is. The rest of the day, she sleeps or watches TV. She does get a good night's sleep in bed for 12 hours each day, in addition to resting most of the rest of the day. Altered sensations and pain due to the brain tumor. She has chronic generalized pain, which is worsened by activity and forces her to rest the majority of the time. She has frequent numbness, burning, and tingling in the extremities, which is not treatable and is caused by the tumor, which is not treatable. Looking at a computer gives her migraines, likely aggravated by the brain tumor. She manages these by not focusing on a screen for too long due to her difficulties with gaze shifting nystagmus. She still gets a couple of migraines a month with weather changes and other typical triggers, but would get many more if she had to focus intently on any particular screen for too long. She has permanent nystagmus that causes dizziness every time she turns her head quickly or looks off suddenly in another direction. She then has to sit completely still for a while until it passes. Frequent falls due to the nystagmus, weakness, dizziness from the brain tumor. When that happens, she is unable to get herself back up. Patient previously worked as a technical writer. She feels she is completely unable to return to that work. She says sometimes she will try to write something down at home and think she did okay. She will then look at it later and see that it is full of mistakes. She says these errors and even a very brief note that she writes at home would get her fired at work. It will also take her hours to write what she used to be able to write in a very brief time, and even then, it is full of errors. When asked about ability to count money or balance a checkbook, she and her husband both say that this would not go well. She would be very likely to make mistakes. She does not balance her checkbook. She says there is no way she could work a full 8-hour day when she can't even shower without needing to rest the remainder of the day. Exam. April 12th, 2019, 9:46 a.m. General, A&O times 3 and AD. Not acutely ill appearing, but does appear tired. She had difficulty finding words. Her speech was full of pauses while she tried to come up with words. This is more pronounced than I recall in the past. She was able to get her point across with a lot of hesitancy. Speech itself is clear, but lacking fluency. Gait. I had her walk with a walker. She walks at a very slow pace with very short steps and a slightly wide-based gait. She is able to stand from a seated position with a little bit of difficulty without using her hands, but was unsteady once she got into a standing position and had to hold on to her walker. I asked her to squat, holding on to her walker, and she was able to bend her knees about 20 to 30 degrees before starting to lose her balance. She also did not have the strength to bend any further. She definitely cannot get to a kneeling position on her own without falling. Eyes. Patient does have about 4 to 5 beats of nystagmus with lateral gaze as well as upward lateral gaze. This is noted in both directions, but a little worse with right lateral gaze. Assessment and plan. 1. Brainstem tumor, CMS HCC/astrocytoma, incurable. Every MRI has shown stable tumor. This is considered a success that the treatments have kept the tumor from growing, which was the intent of treatment. However, as anticipated, the treatments have not improved the tumor or her symptoms since it was first diagnosed. They have just kept the tumor from progressing thus far. The expectation from my knowledge, though, is that this tumor does shorten her life expectancy significantly since it is not curable. It is my opinion, with the history and examination today, that the patient is not able to do any gainful employment of any type due to physical disabilities as well as difficulties with word finding, processing of speech, computational difficulties, etc. I told the patient that I would try to get a copy of the form that was filled out by her oncologist's office staff and then speak with her oncologist or his APN and see if there is anything additional that they feel they should add to the information sent to the insurance company, or any corrections that they feel should be made, or if they feel that any of the information I was able to get today from my history and physical is incorrect. Patient gave me verbal permission to forward additional information, including this note, to her private insurance company, Lincoln Financial Group, at fax 402-361-1460, as well as to speak with her oncologist and his staff. The majority of today's 40 to 45-minute visit was spent in counseling. An additional 30 minutes was spent in gathering information and coordinating care. End of progress notes. Of all the people unfortunate enough to be involved in this clusterfuck of Lincoln Financial Group's making, my primary physician has known me the longest. She was my doctor back when the men of the medical world still thought I was whiny and just had fibromyalgia, the debilitating condition they poo-pooed as the self-inflicted curse of the 30-something fat woman. After I submitted the detailed note above, given to me by my primary physician to use as part of my appeal, Lincoln Financial Group's claim rep responded, sharing their paid consultant's report. They are basically saying my primary is full of shit and that they plan to deny my appeal. But because they're so kind, I get an additional 21 days to submit more stuff they'll probably just ignore. Here's that correspondence and report. Lincoln Financial Group, May 29th, 2019. This letter is in regard to your appeal for long-term disability benefits. As part of your appeal review, your medical information was reviewed by an independent board-certified physician. We are enclosing a copy of the report with this letter for your review prior to completion of our appeal decision. You may wish to provide this assessment to your treating physicians for further review. Any additional written information or comments must be received within 21 days. The 21-day period will expire on June 19th, 2019. Please submit any written comments or documentation to us at the address in the upper right-hand corner of this letter, or fax it to 402-361-1460. If you will not be responding to the review, please advise us in writing immediately. We are not making a final determination on your disability claim at this time, as we want to provide you every opportunity to review our assessment and provide a response. If we do not receive a response by June 19th, 2019, then we will render a decision based on the information currently in the file. Please contact me directly at the phone number listed below with any questions you may have, or email us at lfgappeals@lfg.com. Sincerely, and the letter is signed by the specialist in the Claims Appeals Department at Lincoln Financial Group, also called the Lincoln National Life Insurance Company. Attached to that letter is the report issued by RRS, Reliable Review Services. This is the doctor that they hired to review my claim. Should be noted that this doctor has never met me. Date, May 20th, 2019. Clinical history. This review is from a medical oncology perspective. The claimant is a 39-year-old female who has a listed diagnosis of, quote, diffuse astrocytoma. This review is to determine if the claimant was functionally impaired from March 22, 2019 and forward. The claimant's first date of absence was noted to be February 3, 2017. The claimant was diagnosed with diffuse astrocytoma of the pons, medulla, and upper cervical spinal cord, WHO grade 2, found to have an IDH1 mutation. She underwent a biopsy on February 9, 2017, confirming the diagnosis, and following that was treated with combined radiation and temozolomide. Due to a severe reaction to temozolomide, she was treated with 6 cycles of adjuvant chemotherapy with CCNU, finishing April 11, 2018. She has not had any treatment since that time. Since that time, her tumor has been stable in size. On November 7, 2018, she was seen by the nurse practitioner at my oncologist's office. She was noted to be doing well and denied any new symptoms. She noted episodes of dizziness, especially when looking down. She noted migraine headache 1 to 2 times a month. She noted no other symptoms. The physical examination, including neurologic examination, was unremarkable. An MRI done on November 5, 2018, revealed stable, non-enhancing expansile lesion involving the medulla and extending into the upper cervical spine. No treatment was recommended. She was to follow up in 4 months. On February 11, 2019, a letter was written summarizing a conversation about this claimant's disability between a reviewer and her neuro-oncologist. This letter indicated that the claimant had minimal residual symptoms from her brainstem glioma. She reported difficulty with vertigo and migraines. Karnofsky performance status was assessed at 90%. On April 12, 2019, she was seen by her primary physician. It was noted that she had difficulty with word finding, talking, and putting thoughts together. She was felt unable to keep track of complicated lists or complex thoughts. She also was noted to have weakness, being unable to get up off the floor or out of the bathtub without assistance. She was unable to squat or climb a ladder due to weakness and balance issues. She was also unable to carry anything because of balance issues. She noted extreme fatigue and also chronic generalized pain. She was noted to have dizziness due to permanent nystagmus and had fallen frequently. She was not very active due to these issues, and her primary physician felt she was totally disabled. Then what follows is a provider contact log. I'm just going to skip over those details as they really don't add anything to anything here. The next section is titled Questions and Reviewer's Response. 1. Please provide a review of the medical findings. Please state your findings upon review of the medical information. In this case, the claimant was noted to have a low-grade astrocytoma status post-treatment in 2017 and in remission since that time. She has residual symptoms including vertigo, migraine headache, and gait instability noted on disability form, not in the neuro-oncology office note. 2. Based on the medical findings, please provide a description of the claimant's impairments and how these would translate into functional limitations or medically appropriate restrictions from March 22, 2019 and forward. A. For any outlined functional limitations and/or medically appropriate restrictions, please specify from and to dates to which the limitations and/or restrictions apply. B. Please provide the maximal physical capacities the claimant retains and can safely perform at with specific from and to dates. Based on the medical findings, this claimant cannot work at unprotected heights, cannot climb ladders, can walk and stand for up to 30 minutes without rest. There is no limitation in sitting. She can push-pull without restriction, can lift-carry up to 10 pounds due to vertigo and balance issues, can squat occasionally. She has no other apparent restrictions or limitations. There was a significant discrepancy between her primary and oncologist's descriptions of this claimant. Given this claimant's history, however, severe ongoing physical limitations such as described in her primary physician's office note would not be expected. That degree of functional impairment was not described in neuro-oncology office notes, nor was it described in disability forms completed by them or in my oncologist's conversation with Lincoln Financial Group's first medical reviewer, the prior disability reviewer. The above restrictions and limitations are related to vertigo and balance impairment along with her intermittent headaches. 3. Are the restrictions or limitations placed upon the claimant's physical functional activities by the attending physicians reasonable and consistent with the medical findings? Please explain. As noted above, I am generally in agreement with her oncologist's assessment as documented in records. Her primary physician's assessment is not in line with that and cannot be supported by provided documentation. Assessment rationale. The claimant in this case was diagnosed with a low-grade astrocytoma and was treated with biopsy, followed by combined chemotherapy and radiation, and then 6 months of adjuvant chemotherapy. She has remained in remission since. She has ongoing symptoms of vertigo, balance impairment, and also occasional headaches. As noted above, while there is significant discrepancy between assessments by her primary physician and oncologist, based on her history and notably based on lack of recurrence since completion of therapy, the above restrictions and limitations can be supported, but total disability cannot be supported. Okay, I'm going to interrupt this for just a second because this guy's use of the word remission and whatever else, remission and something, he's saying that I don't have any symptoms, and guys, the fucking tumor is still fucking there, and I live with this every day, and this is complete bullshit. Okay, back to wrap up this letter. The opinion above is based on the information available for review and held to a reasonable degree of clinical accuracy. I attest that I have no relationship or association with the claimant who is the subject of this independent review. I also attest that I have no substantial personal or financial relationship with the treating providers and/or treatment facilities. I have no financial interest in the insurer or claim administrator, and my opinions were not influenced by compensation received for my services. Okay, bullshit. Just because a company gets money from Lincoln Financial Group to make this assessment doesn't mean he's not getting money. Basically it's being laundered between a third party. That's it. He's still getting paid to do this by Lincoln Financial Group, and he knows what the fuck they want to hear. Sorry, back to the thing. I hereby submit this attestation that I have compiled to the highest degree possible with the provisions of the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996 and the standards decreed thereunder. And then it's signed by him. He's listed as a board-certified medical oncology and hematology, internal medicine, hospice, and palliative medicine, and then it lists his license number. Following that, it's just a list of dates and documents that have been sent to him for review. I'm not going to read through all of those. back to the blog post that I wrote. Finally, an addendum written by my oncologist, which I recently requested in writing because LFG's consultants kept claiming my oncologist said things that my oncologist's office denied when I asked them about it. This letter was submitted through my Simon Cancer Center patient portal. Lists my name, my date of birth, and the date of visit, which was April 22nd, 2019. To whom it may concern, patient is a 39-year-old female with diffuse astrocytoma of the pons, medulla, and upper cervical cord to the level of C3, WHO grade 2, IDH1, R132H mutant. 1P/19Q intact by FISH, ATRX retained. Status post-suboccipital craniotomy with biopsy on February 9, 2017. She was treated with concurrent chemoradiation with Timidar 75 milligrams per meter squared from March 6, 2017 to April 12, 2017. Unfortunately, she did not tolerate high-dose adjuvant Timidar due to suspected drug reaction with eosinophilia and systemic systems, also called DRESS syndrome. We avoided Timidar afterward, and the patient received CCNU, first cycle, on July 27, 2017. She completed 6 cycles of CCNU on April 11, 2018. We are monitoring with serial MRIs, which have showed no substantial change to a T2/flare, hyperintense expansile mass in the medulla and upper cervical spinal cord, consistent with known diffuse astrocytoma. The lesion has not substantially changed, dating back to July 10, 2018. Full report also attached. She states that she has overall been doing fairly well with no new complaints. She continues to have episodes of dizziness, particularly when looking down, as well as migraines. Although her condition is currently stable, she has chronic effects caused by the tumor. Patient has been followed closely by her primary care physician. Due to the infrequency of office visits required by medical oncology and the familiar with the patient's ongoing symptoms by her primary physician, I defer to her primary physician for a determination of disability. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to contact my office. Sincerely, and it's signed by my medical oncologist. And back to my blog post, just to wrap this up. It should be noted that I have not yet sent this addendum from my oncologist to LFG, as I am still composing a letter and waiting on a couple of additional documents to send along with it before the July 19th deadline. Right now, it feels like LFG wants to drag this thing out. The way their policies are written, a claimant has to go through first appeal and a second appeal before she can file suit. From my perspective, I can't see how that's more cost-effective for them than just honoring the damn policy. But who knows? Since it's all just a numbers game for them, maybe they're betting on me to die before they ever have to pay another penny. If I do die before this matter is settled, please know that my last wish was for you to help me spread the truth of their horribleness far and wide. Footnote. It should also be noted that aside from basic things like my name, age, and diagnosis, LFG's consultant is wrong about pretty much everything. He, like their first consultant, has never met me.